Welcome in, everyone, to another episode with the Second Chances. Now, before we get going here, I do want to send out a few thank yous, the first of which is to Critical Role, as we are using their Exandria setting, specifically the Explorer's Guide to Wildemount. And also a thank you to both Reliquary Records and Critical Role, as we are using music from both of them. You can find Reliquary Records on all major streaming labels, and Critical Role a few months ago released their Welcome to Teldore album, which you can also find on all major streaming platforms. So with that, last time on the Second Chances, after completing a major quest to the ruins of Shattengrod and returning the Heart of Icarus, as well as finding out that a legendary monstrosity known as the Plague of Eyes has been unleashed upon the world, they returned to Exandria, was able to turn in the Heart of Icarus, got a bunch of great loot in the process, including their own little manor that they did not go and check out before they left. They began their trek down towards Zadash after Leo had went home to check on his sister and found his place had been broken into. Luckily, there was a boy across the street who she had given a letter to give to Leo to let him know that she was fine, and that she had went to Zadash to try and find Triv after getting a letter from the gentleman saying that she was unwell and wouldn't be able to travel herself. So, Second Chances had begun their trek southward for that reason, as well as Roz is supposed to check in with a blood mage of some sort, a hemocraft doctor, in order to get tested for her Kalistari blood.
Yeah, I'll point out that when I asked specifically, like, oh, he's a doctor, and the person said, no, not really.
Yeah, not really. Yeah. So we left off last session on the third or fourth night on the road, and as the Second Chances were setting up camp, they saw a party of Pallid elves approaching. So that is where we are going to go ahead and jump in tonight. Maeve, it's you and Leo who noticed this group of 4, all of them on horses, heading in your direction, and you do recognize from a distance that they are Pallid elves. They've spotted you as well, but there's probably still another 10 minutes before they get close enough. So, as they approach, what would you like to do?
She's first going to stare kind of in shock. And then she's going to turn to the rest of the party, kind of blink a bit. We are going to have visitors soon.
Oh, nothing unusual. We had visitors last night, too.
They might know me.
I would say by now all of you see the direction that Maeve and Leo are looking in, and you also notice that one of those horses has broken into a run towards you.
Oh.
Why is it running?
Well,
they're wearing your colors, Maeve. Are they from your place?
Very likely.
Oh, shit, get your weapons out.
No
weapons out?
No weapons out, please. Let's just see.
Apologies. I never know which, this one is hard to determine when that is appropriate.
Well, Leaf, that's why we have the call-out phrase, so that you know when it's appropriate.
This one wanted to be the one to call out.
We'll work on it, Leaf.
We'll make sure to give you the chance. Anyway, maybe they are from a different clan. You know, I've heard that some have left our grove before. This may not be the first time.
Not often, Maeve. Most people did stay at home, especially as big as clans. Just for your own benefit. I don't know if you're just saying that to try to make her feel better, but the one coming in at a fast gallop, you do recognize.
Okay.
A bit taller than you are. You see hair, golden color. You remember it being a lot shorter, about chin length, and now it seems to have been grown out much longer, almost to her shoulders. And her eyes are still the same color of leaves in summer that you remember. And as Adelaide comes up close and brings her horse to a screeching halt, She jumps down, and you all watch as this Pallid elf runs up and wraps her arms around Maeve, going, Maeve! Oh my god, it's so good to see you!
Eddie! Wow! This is a surprise.
She pulls
what?
back, still with her hands on your shoulder, and goes, are you telling me? Wow, you look great.
Thank you. So do you. You grew out your hair.
Oh, well, I mean, we've been on the road for a few months now, so it just kind of happened. Friends of yours? Well, hold on. And she turns and kind of like whistles loudly as the rest of them have now gone into a full-on trot as well. And as the rest of them come up, you do recognize a few of them. One of them, shorter, slimmer than the others, even for an elf, has a short bow over one shoulder and two long, slender blades on the other. You can see the hilts popping up just over her back. Her hair is a dark blonde, like sand drying on the beach, long on one side and pulled over the shoulder, but shaved on the other. She has a bit of a sour smirk, and you're not sure if she's disgusted to see you or just knows something that all of you don't, but you recognize this as Carrie.
Carrie. Fucking Carrie.
You also see Yulia, Adelaine's partner, a bit shorter with pale ginger-colored her hair pulled up in a tight bun. Both a long bow and a short bow slung over her shoulders. And then another one that you don't immediately recognize, much older than the others and yourself, but still youthful, full of fire. Her gaze holds a bit more patience and wisdom to it. Short red, fiery hair and heavier armor than the rest, a mixture of chain and leather. Go ahead and just give me a quick history check real quick.
History? You
Yeah,
got
just a
it.
quick history check.
Oh, shoot.
Just
sorry,
for
one-
funsies. See if you
One for
remember or
funsies.
not.
Yeah, that is fine. Just give me 1 second here, because I forgot to fully bring up everything. And I'm just going to roll from here. I know my history is not the best. It is not.
No, you sure you don't get advantage on it?
Okay.
Oh.
I'll take it. Yeah, go ahead.
You want to use an inspo on it? Is that what you were saying?
Yeah, I'd like
Go
to use
for
an
it.
inspo.
Go for
Sorry,
it.
1 sec. Well, let me just roll again, and I'll take it out after.
It's not a super hard DC.
Yeah, I just need to, get double digits.
Maeve nudges Rosalind nudges Kieran and just kind of whispers, "Oh, so they're like all hot in the past."
They are all hot, yeah.
That's
They're all
not
attractive.
unusual. then.
Yeah, as you do that and you look over, Kieran's jaw is just kind of like on the ground right now.
Yeah.
Should have showed up, Kieran. It takes you a moment, but the longer you stare at her, you do remember her. This is a once lover of your sister's before her pilgrimage and eventual departure from the city. This is Gwenla.
Gwenla, okay.
Yep. And as they come up, each of them jumps down one by one, and they each come up and hug Maeve. And Yulia specifically moves towards you, Roz, with her arms open before stopping herself and going, right, sorry, you don't do that out here.
It's not a usual greeting. No.
Yeah, we've just recently gotten used to it, but, seeing you again, please introduce us to your compatriots.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
Maeve,
That
introduce us.
yes, of course. This is Rosalind. She is actually from very far away from here. This is Leo. And this is Hermia. She's gonna look at Kieran, just figure out what name Kieran wants to go by today.
And Kieran pipes up and goes, Gliss.
Gliss, and then Leaf, who is an acronym for an automaton. And Zana, thank you.
Yeah, Zana's a little further back, like kind of taking some stuff like out of the cart and just kind of like nods in the direction, and you see Carrie kind of give the same sort of nod back.
And this is Addie. This is Carrie, and then Gwenla, and who was Addie's partner?
Yulia.
Yulia.
It's a
These
pleasure
are-
to meet everyone. It looks like you're getting ready to camp down for the night. Would you mind if we joined you?
Not at all. I suppose it'd be good as time as any to catch up. What are all four of you doing out here anyway?
That is a long story, but maybe we could start once we have things set up with you and what you've been up to for the past. It's been like 6-7 months.
Yeah, it's been some time. Yeah, I think that would be great. Where's our campfire? Did we set one up yet? You can tell that she is she's like was not expecting this obviously and does not know how to act appropriately and is trying to busy herself with something.
Carrie looks down towards your feet and goes, "Is that a dragon?"
She freezes at that. Yeah, funny story. She kind of claps her hands as she looks back at them. So, while I was traveling, the Moonweaver deigned to bless me with this drake.
They all kind of look back and forth at each other, and Carrie's like, "You don't have to lie to us, Maeve."
What?
And Luster kind of like growls a little bit.
Luster, I mean...
Addie hears that and goes, "What? You named him after your wolf?"
No, Luster, do you remember Addie?
He kind of like sniffs in her direction a little bit, but is definitely still behind you and kind of a little wary of them.
Hey, it's okay. Really. I know you don't know a lot of them, but it's okay. No, it's...
Prove it then, Addie asks.
Well, what do you remember about Luster? Do you remember his favorite foods? Where he likes to be scratched? She's...
That second
a
one.
little more... Okay. Go on.
Me?
Yes, you. Go on.
She goes and kind of kneels down, and Luster kind of growls a little bit and looks up at you.
Luster, please.
Slowly,
okay.
like, goes up with his ears down and tail kind of curled in a little bit, and she scratches him, and he kind of likes it, and she smiles and goes, "Still, the Moonweaver brought your wolf back as a dragon."
I mean, that's far from the craziest thing that's happened to us, so yeah, probably.
Yulia, by this point, has also gone up and kneeled down next to Addie, and you didn't know Yulia super well.
No.
But
Away.
she was, kind when you had been around her, and specifically, you know that she was also, like, very, very good with animals. And she kind of kneels down and takes a look at him for a second and goes, "No, that is Luster. It is him." "It is him. It is Luster. You can see it in his eyes." She looks up to you, Dave. You never would have seen it, but there's a sadness there. When you looked at him, you already saw perfection. And despite his weaknesses, his inability to hunt, you still saw a partner in him, and she starts scratching him behind the ear as well. Someone you could rely on, and that could rely on you too. But that sadness was there nonetheless. He always felt bad for not being able to protect you from things that were beyond his control. Protecting you the way that you protected him, and even now holds a little bit of that regret with him. And Luster kind of starts to divert his eyes from you a little bit. And now that he can, Maeve, he wishes that you could see yourself the way that he sees you.
What?
And she reaches into a little pack and pulls out what looks like a medicinal like pouch, and she opens it up and takes a little handful of red flowers out and hands them up to you.
How did you... I want to ask.
I know we didn't hang out a lot, but I can hear things from wildlife.
Well,
And Luster climbs up your arm and like starts reaching for the flowers.
Hey, buddy. Yep, I know. Here you go. Thank you, Yulia. I suppose I never thought to ask you about such things.
It's okay, you're a bit of a lone wolf.
She kind of winces at that.
So,
right.
that everyone takes, 10, 15 minutes to get horses settled, tied up, get tents pitched, get a fire started and all that. But at that point, you do have some time now, if you would like to discuss it all as everyone kind of gets, settled down for the night. Maeve, the first thing that they ask you is from Addie. Why did you leave?
Well, the truth is that... Do you remember when my sister left?
They each nod. Here, Carrie, by the way, is off a ways from the fire, kind of keeping watch.
Of course she is.
a little close, like still be able to hear, but her attention is definitely like diverted to the north. And likewise, Zana on the other side is watching to the south.
Yeah, of course Carrie is. I'm just teasing. Anyway, well, she, in her pilgrimage, she saw something unusual.
We
I believe
heard
it's...
the rumors. She saw some sort of other god? Or someone who claimed to be, at least.
Yes. Well, I saw the same thing. And
they each kind of exchange concerned looks with one another.
I know how it sounds, but I had hoped that if I could find the connection with her, then maybe that would solve some things. So I did, and it turns out it's bigger than any of us, the situation that's at hand. These people have been called to a task, and I am helping.
Gwenla asks, so you've all seen or heard this oracle, is what Chandri called it?
Yes.
Yeah, I would tend not to be a little, not dismissive of it, because it is real.
I mean, as far as you know, but...
I pull down my shirt to show my tattoo. I don't get tattoos. I'm 200 years old. I'm too old for tattoos.
What I mean is, history is replete with gods, devils, demons, and angels that have given people visions, telling them what they want to hear in order to get to their own needs.
Well,
not saying you're wrong. It's just hard to believe.
Listen, I wouldn't believe it unless I saw it myself. We have prevented creatures like demons from entering this world because of this.
3 times, as a matter of fact.
Well, if that is the reason that you left, you are remembered quite a bit more fondly than Chandra.
What? What are you talking about?
Well, reason that we left Maeve was because of you. There have been a lot of us, a lot of the younger generation that have left after you did. You, at least to the younger ones, you're a hero back home now.
What? A hero for what?
The clan leader's daughter who forsook the ways of the old to go and travel and discover the new world by herself. After you, they all started leaving. We're actually heading north. There's an elven city by Tile that we're hoping to go and just learn more about our heritage before Grove was sank by the Crawling King.
Make sure you try the Lucky Kieran when you get there. It's real good.
Also be wary of the Empire. Don't be talking about your gods with the Empire.
We learned that very quickly. We were also warned about it down the Menagerie Coast, but seeing the way people look at you for just wearing the symbology is a whole thing.
Who's speaking right now?
Addie.
Addie. Okay. Hey, hero. Addie, you must be joking. She kind of motions to Carrie. Hero? What are you talking about?
Everyone sees you in a lot more of a positive light now, Maeve. You have to understand that when you were training to take over leadership one day, you were supposed to be one of us. You were supposed to represent us in that world in leadership, but all you ever did was try to please your father. All you did was try to uphold the old ways. And none of us wanted that. We're a different generation. We were born above the ground, under the moon. You know, we had hoped that you were going to help bring that change about, but you didn't seem to have the motivation for that, I suppose. So when you left defying the elders, or at least that's what it seemed like, everyone just thought a lot better of you than they did before.
She looks away, just kind of a mix of horrified and confusion on her features, but look,
You know they have titles for you back home now.
What?
Timavra the Wanderer, the Trailblazer, the Explorer, Farseer.
Hey, yo, Farseer, that one's awesome.
It's not too bad.
That's
you've
pretty cool.
basically become like a folktale, a legend to.
Wait, what
a
do
lot
you
of the
mean
younger
that Maeve
generation.
was a leader? What do you mean she was a clan leader? What does that mean?
When her sister left, she was next in line, I suppose, to represent the Ashfall clan. Normally, you don't get a responsibility like that until, 5-6 decades on. But Maeve would have been the youngest. And she took her responsibilities a bit more serious than anyone would
Maeve,
have
when
liked her to.
When were we going to get to hear that story?
Well, it didn't seem relevant, I suppose.
What the fuck is up with that?
Thank you, Leaf. Correct.
Listen, I wasn't
And what
very-
the fuck is up with you leaving without telling anyone? You literally talked to me that day, and I told you how close we used to be and how you could come to me with anything.
Things have changed. She
Me-
kind of looks at everyone and is like,
Clearly.
well, what was I supposed to say? That I didn't know how to do what I was doing? That I wish that my sister was back to do better than me? That I saw something and didn't know what to do with that, or else get my father mad?
You could have even just said, hey, Addie, I'm leaving for a while to go figure some things out. For the first week, we thought that you had disappeared or died or something. It wasn't until your mother had started to tell us that a bunch of your stuff had been packed up and was gone. She was devastated. Right?
I know.
Your father, too, probably, but he didn't show it.
He never shows anything. How is my mother?
She's better. When last we left. Still worried. I don't know if you plan to ever send anything home or not, but I mean, we could send like a message or something next time we get into a town somewhere, or you could even do that.
Maybe.
Father has lost. Well, he's fallen out of favor with the rest of the council. I think two daughters being trained to take over for him leaving didn't exactly reflect very well on the Ashfall clan.
No, I imagine it didn't.
But it doesn't matter. That's the old way, Maeve, and you shouldn't have been forced to live a life that you didn't choose. And that's what you've shown everyone, that we can all choose our own way forward.
Is that what all four of you have banded together for?
We, like you, just wanted to get out and see the world. I mean, if you think about it, even our parents now, 200-300 years old, 50 years above the ground, and they still haven't left the Pallid Grove. There's so much out here to see, and we're just content with having a small forest to themselves.
Forest half dead, you mean? Maybe. I had hoped by now I would know where my sister was and bring her home and...
Gwenla speaks up. And have you found anything? Heard anything? She
She
even
did...
still alive?
She's alive. I heard from her once, but she wouldn't tell me where she was. She just told me to go home. I'm sorry, Gwenla. That's all I really know. She was supposed to do what I am doing now. But she decided to forego that, it seems. For what, I'm not fully sure. But I promise I'm still looking for any sign of her. I promise I'll do what I can to figure this out and to bring her back, to whatever it takes.
Well, I'll keep an eye and an ear out as well.
Thank you. Eddie, do you think we could talk for a second? She kind of looks around at the group.
Sure.
Okay. Just have fun. Just, you know how like when your friends are when like your friends of friends and friends are first meeting for the first time. That's what Maeve is trying to make sure. Like nobody fight, right? Nobody argue.
And by
play
all
nice.
means, if any of you would like to ask any questions to any of the Pallid elves, you may.
I'll let you guys get an opportunity first before I do my thing.
So Maeve told me you guys get in piles?
I did not!
Yulia and Gwenla just kind of blink. What?
He
He's
doesn't.
gross.
Don't listen to anything that he says ever. Actually, the Pallid elves have different customs when it comes to relationships than everyone else seems to.
We've noticed. Yes.
Yeah.
Yulia looks to you, Hermia, noticing your ears, and goes, "You're a Fae as well, but you're not Elven, are you?"
What do you mean I'm not Elven? I'm more Elven than you.
I'm sorry. I mean...
What the hell does that mean, Hermia?
Means that Soma Elf. No, I'm just kidding.
I can tell that you're different even from your older friend here.
I'm an Eladrin from the Feywild.
And she turns to Gwenla. "We should go there after Bisay Tile." And Gwenla's like, "We will think about it. It's a lot more dangerous in the Feywild than just outside of the Grove." You've also noticed, too, now that Carrie and Zana are standing next to each other out by the road, exchanging...
Damn it, of course they'd be friends.
Small pleasantries, it looks like.
That's weird.
For now.
Yep.
Of course they'd be friends.
All right. Well, the rest of you think if there's anything else you want to talk to Yulia or Gwenla about, Maeve, you and Addie walk off away from the road and away from the camp a bit.
Yeah. Sorry, folks. It's just, this is not a conversation she would have in front of people. That's the only reason I did it this way, so I apologize.
As you kind of get away, she's like, "It really is good to see you well, Maeve."
You too. How's Nora's-san? Did he leave too, or does he stay behind?
There's hesitation in her voice as she kind of diverts her gaze away from you as well.
It's fine. I can handle it.
Well, you will be pleased to know that something about, I don't know if it's what you told him, whatever your last talk was, or if it was you leaving, but he stepped up and he's actually now in training to perhaps one day be a leader of his clan.
Oh. Well, that's wonderful. I'm very happy for him.
He's also married now.
Oh.
He married Milla 2 months after you left.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also, if Carrie tells you that X surprise, she wanted to tell you.
Of course she did. Don't worry, I'll give her a little satisfaction to be I'll give her some satisfaction with it. I'm happy for him, truly.
I think he's happy too.
Yeah. It's that's why I did it, you know. I knew there wasn't a point of keeping him tied down.
Well, to be
It's
fair,
good
even
news.
if you hadn't left, you deserved better, Maeve.
Addie, please. It's fine. I made the choices I made. We all make the choices that we made, right?
She nods.
I didn't tell you fully back when we last talked. Distance has brought time and a lot of thinking. I've done a lot of thinking.
She takes your hands into hers with the letter.
She will. It wasn't that you said no to me. It was that you pulled away. I mean, after that whole debacle when we were so young, I lost you as a friend that day. And I don't care now what we are as far as that. But I still, despite all this time, I still miss you.
And I should have said it the night before you left that I know that us drifting away was my fault as well. Pulled away because it hurt. Not getting the answer that I thought. And I guess I thought I was giving you time, and you were probably doing the same for me.
Seems so stupid now. It
Does.
seems, with the things that I've seen and the dangers I have seen, and my life almost, I don't know, life seems so much shorter than it used to be. You know, I see my father centuries older and me barely a tenth of that age, and I can't believe how much time I've wasted.
And there's still a whole lot of world to see, Maeve.
There is. You'll like Biseltal. Make sure you go to their inn. It's carved from a most wondrous tree you wouldn't believe. And be careful when you go north. It's very cold, and
Okay,
need to make-
okay, Mom. Yes, we know how to travel.
Just be careful, please. I mean, listen, you've got Carrie, and she'll save her own hide, but just be careful.
At that point, everyone jumps as there is a loud explosion that all of you in the group recognize as Zana's gun going off. And as you all turn to look, Carrie, taking her ears away from her, or her hands away from her ears, goes, "Can I try?"
Zana, what the hell?
What? And she starts reloading.
A little warning, maybe.
You shooting dinner at least?
They've never seen one before.
And you could have yelled fire in the hole or something.
You're fine.
Oh.
This is crazy. This is so crazy.
Leaf, you get another inspo.
For just existing.
Hooray!
Because you are cool.
You're coming north from Rexentram? Is that?
Rexentrum. It's a ginormous city. You need to be careful of the Empire there.
Bigger than Zadash?
Bigger than Zadash. We're actually going to Zadash. What did you, anything of note there I should be warned about?
Well, I was going to tell you. Well, I mean, I'm sure you've been through it, I'm sure, coming up this way as well. No, weather's been clear, roads have been fine. So I assume that with this quest you're on, this group you're with, that there wouldn't be any sense in me trying to convince you to come with us.
Gosh. So long ago I would have wished nothing else than to be long, I guess, but I can't. I have a duty to this group.
Yeah, that sounds like Maeve.
What are you talking about?
Always finding your duty that you have to adhere to.
Well, the moment I was born, there was always something to do. What am I supposed to do about it?
Well,
but
I just hope that it seems like this has been thrust upon you as well, that this is what you want to do. Choose to do something for yourself.
Yeah. Well, I could leave at any time without any recourse, so I've been told. And what I'm doing is important. That feels good, you know?
Yeah.
What I'm doing seems to matter. And, well, it is, once again, in second place to my sister. Well, she's not here, is she?
No, but you are, and you do look happy. Your friends mostly look like good people.
They are certainly an eccentric bunch, I'll tell you that much, but they are.
Old guy's kind of weird, and correct me if I'm wrong, but does the little one kind of look like a mix between you and the bigger lady?
Grimaces. Don't spread this around, but changeling, actually.
Oh, that's a real thing then.
Yes. Keep it down. They're very shy about it.
Sure.
But they've seemed to take in me and Roz as mothers, so it would seem. There's nothing between Roz and I before I just nip that in the bud.
Didn't say that there was. Insight check. So go ahead and roll either a persuasion or deception based on if there are any actual feelings in there or not. And since I'm the DM, you might as well tell me.
Yeah, I mean,
if you want to message it to me so that people in the group don't know, you may do that.
I already know.
Yeah, well, we've talked about it out of game, so you will see it in the thing, and that is okay for other people to see it. That's okay. That's an 11 though, so that wasn't very good.
Total?
Yeah, total. Got a +0.
You rolled it in the campaign thing?
I did. I rolled in roll 20.
Oh, in roll 20.
Yeah.
Persuasion.
Persuasion. Okay.
It is persuasion. Yeah, we talked about it.
She kind of stares at you for a moment, then looks back towards Roz, and then accepts. She rolled like a 21, so
yeah,
so long as you're not lying, she believes you.
Yeah.
All right.
She has someone back home.
Well, I will let Carrie
around
know
here,
because she's definitely her type.
I will warn Roz mostly. I think Carrie has enough in her collection.
She's always looking to add more, and she has since we left.
How many this time?
That she's told us about?
Yes.
There was the Dash, Allfield, Trostenwald. There was a girl at the Wuyan Gates. Nicodranus, Port Zune, Phaolin, Port Damali, Tusoa, Guardan, and there was a set of twins in the Dorel Woods that she says, but I don't know if I believe her on that one.
Yeah, she will say anything. Gosh, I shouldn't be surprised, and yet the sheer number. She hasn't started a book of names. Now would be the time.
No. Well, shall we rejoin the others?
We should. Thank you.
So, while all that's going on, did anyone have any other questions or anything they'd like to talk to Gwenla or Yulia about?
Yeah, I'll actually be serious this time.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Lloyd.
So how many clans are in the Pallid Grove?
Oh, I mean, there's quite a few. Our people over the past 50 years number 300 or 400. There's about 10 prime clans, but more within that as well. It's something that I think is a carryover from our people's time underground, and New dawn we've told often, has begun with us coming above ground, and those who weren't as keen to expand their family underground let go of those worries above ground now. So our population has definitely been growing very, very fast.
How many of you have started journeying out? I see 4 of you here now.
Before us, before we left, there was another, I think, 20 or so over the past six months that have left. Prior to that, minus Lashandra, we usually sent out, some emissaries to some of the closer cities. Warden, we had, trade from. We sent a few to Port Damali, but, they didn't stay long, basically long enough to, learn a little bit about the world to bring back to us, or, see what could possibly be traded. Set up some supply lines. We had some traders from Port Damali and Tusoa would take there's a river through the mountains there that connects up that they would go through. So leaving wasn't something that we did a whole lot of. I think that even despite being above ground, that the elders of the clans couldn't really let go of the protective, sheltered way of life that they lived underground.
That makes sense. The world is kind of a hellscape in certain places, so to protect your own.
I mean, everything that we've seen so far has been beautiful. I mean, have you ever been to an ocean before?
No, what's that like?
Really pretty.
Okay, so imagine a lake, right? Except it goes on for it's a water sky. That's the best way I can put it. It's a water sky.
I'd like to see that someday.
It's the sky but water, and it just goes on forever. It was beautiful and terrifying at the same time.
Roz remembers almost drowning with the blood frogs and nods sagely.
The water's a little saltier than the lake, though, Roz.
Oh? How much saltier?
Gwenla kind of focuses in on you, Roz.
Like, burns your eyes.
You're the leader of this group?
No, I would say no, not necessarily. I mean, Maeve is as much the leader as I am.
Both her and Yulia kind of like stifle a laugh to one another. In combat, though, I assume you take charge.
Yes.
No offense. She looks like you, Hermia, and Kieran, to the rest of you, but she just looks it.
Yeah.
Is Maeve been well, then? She was never one to work well with others.
Oh. No, Maeve is, valuable part of the team in that aspect, especially. And Luster is, no slouch either.
Yeah, Luster, by the way, at this point is like curled up in Yulia's lap, and she's like stretching him like on the belly, and he's just like in heaven, basically. Yeah.
Yeah. No, and between Maeve and Luster, they're pretty formidable.
I'm happy to hear that. When she first got Luster, in the eyes of what was expected of from our people, she was held back. Even after he was gone, and Luster's kind of like watching, like listening in. It still affected her more than she probably would admit to. It makes sense now that she's gotten him back, that she would blossom as a result of it.
Well, whether it's her or Luster, everyone deserves a second chance.
You hear Zana go, ugh. And then there's a loud bang, and you watch as Carrie, hits the ground on her ass from the kickback, and Zana goes, I told you weren't ready for it.
Zana, what the hell?
What? Mind your business.
Stop!
Please
nice
shoot
job.
a deer. Like, quit
She
wasting
wanted to
ammunition.
try. I have plenty.
Ugh.
And she takes it back, and you watch her fold it up and put it on her back,
We're-
and help carry back up.
She looks to Eula and is just like, we're still working on it. It's in progress.
And Maeve and Addie eventually come back and join the group.
Oh,
Well-
before she comes
Oh,
back, I was
sure.
going to ask him. Quintus Gwenda. Is it Gwenda?
Gwenla. Here, I'll put each of their names in the chat for
Yeah,
you.
because two of them I made up and two of them Robbie made up.
Sorry, I have memory of goldfish.
Oh, it's fine.
Quintus Gwenla. This one has picked up on
Sorry,
social
what was that
cues.
first word that you used?
Acquaintance?
Oh, okay. I thought you said Quintus. I'm like, what does that mean?
Why is Quintus? Is...
I have cotton mouth, okay?
You're fine.
It's okay.
Acquaintance Gwenla. This one has picked up on social cues to indicate that you are close to Farseer Maeve's sister. Is this factual?
Once upon a time.
Did Farseer Maeve's sister ever inform you of anything regarding the entity known as the Oracle?
She did. She said that she had that she had gotten a vision that she claimed it was stronger than that, of a being that claimed to be the... Not sure what word to use for it, but a creation, a
Architect.
harbinger, I guess, of a being known as the Architect, a progenitor to the gods.
I feel like all the second chances give each other a knowing look and nod at that point.
Yeah.
You have to understand how ridiculous that sounds to literally anybody else.
No, totally get it. Trust me, I've been dealing with that since I got here.
This one has learned that distrust of other beings is a valuable tool for survival from friend Kieran. This one is finding logical flaws in the entity known as the Oracle. This one feels uncertain of it, much unlike the trust that this one has with the Wild Mother.
You follow the Wild Mother as a construct.
That is correct.
Interesting. You're only the second one that we've ever seen before.
You have seen others like this one?
One other one in Port Damali. It was with a man. It didn't talk in the same way that you do, though. It seemed more... Not sure how to describe it. Like it had less agency. It could still communicate, but was...
That one
Excuse my offense.
seemed to lack a soul.
I guess you seem to have more agency self, like a person. This one was more of a thing.
This one is also attempting to find others like it. There are many machines in the world. However, the Wild Mother has told this one that this one is unique in that regard.
Makes sense then. You're traveling with all of them on this mission. I assume you're also capable of holding your own in combat. This one just carried books around. Its name was... I think it was called Reed or something like that.
Wait,
At the mention
Reed?
of that, Leaf, you all see as Leaf's, the sort of green in his eyes and like that's on his body shifts to a blue and then kind of go out and flicker for a moment. And Leaf, you get a image, a memory of the first time that you were introduced to one of your siblings, Reed. Would you like to tell us what that memory was like?
I think
Or
I
at least-
experienced that.
Oh.
I don't think you
I?
experienced that one, but or at the very least, describe to us what Reed looks like.
Well, Reed is it has no like face, much like Leaf, although it does have two like just wires that mimic glasses that are like in front of not eyes. It also has a kind of a black mage-ish type hat where it's like the material on top of mimics like the straw, and it has a bluish robes that kind of drape down from it and kind of swirl out a bit. It also has markings similar to what Leaf does, except that one's colors are all of a sky blue instead of primary green.
Interesting.
And so in that memory, you see and remember for the first time Dr. Fernelius as well, introducing you and going, Leaf, this is your sister, Reed. And the other automaton looks at you and goes, greetings. I am R64Y, record, encode, articulate, and demonstrate. Or read. All that you remember. And Gwen goes, is it or he okay?
Leaf, you all right, bud?
Leaf is just going to remain completely immobile for a good 6 seconds or so.
He is still lit up, though.
And then its colors go back to the green. And then Leaf is just going to say, greetings. This one just had a dream. This one is going to go sit down for a moment, and it's going to turn around and just sit on a nearby log.
Like facing away from everybody.
Yeah, I'm facing away from everyone.
Is it okay? Did I say something?
No, you're fine.
You're fine. Yeah, that's
In Roz's head, Leo's gonna say, I had a dream of one of his constructs named Reed a while back.
Roz thinks back. Yo, we really got to start sharing these dreams with each other.
It's been a minute.
That's why we haven't had one in a minute. So.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to go talk to him?
Yeah. Can you handle?
Yeah, I got the Pallid bunch.
All right, and I'll just be like, I'll see how he's doing. He probably remembered something. He's kind of shaken in the head sometimes.
All right, and we'll say Maeve. By this point, you and Addie rejoin the group.
Welcome
Everyone,
back, Maeve.
everyone playing nice with each other?
Oh yeah, just get to know each other.
Yes. Carrie, you having fun with that gun?
She doesn't have it anymore, but she's looking at the
Okay.
smaller one now and just kind of over her shoulder. She's like, yeah, nice to see you too, Maeve.
Yep. It's good to see you as always. Just gonna turn to the rest of the group. Well, I see Luster is quite happy. Yulia, you always did have a way with animals.
Yeah. Yeah, she just kind of keeps, scratching him and petting him, and he just kind of looks over at you happily.
Well, I suppose we should all get set up, right?
Oh yeah. She'll glance over at the Pallid elves. If you all want to rest, we can take the watches. We're used to handling it.
Sure.
Alright.
I mean, they only need 4 hours anyway, so.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. I'm sorry.
We can say that you continue to talk through the night if you'd like to, but otherwise, yeah, who would like to take watch?
I will.
All right, so we'll go Hermia's on first watch with
okay, I'll do it alone.
It's fine.
Leaf will go
That's
with you.
There we go. I was gonna take the watch of after the
there's
4
Leaf.
hours, so.
Okay, so Hermia, Leaf, who wants second hour? So Maeve wants last watch. Who wants second?
Roz can go second. That's fine.
All right.
With Roz.
Theo. And we will say that Kieran... No, you know what? Addie will stay up. Nope. One of the elves say
Yeah.
but by that point we'll be up and we can help.
Yeah. Sounds
Oh.
good.
Okay. So everyone finds their way to their tents for the night. Give me passive perceptions.
Passive.
As
Passive.
everyone's getting ready for bed. Yes, I want passive perception.
Oh boy.
Oh,
20.
everyone's passive. 19.
16.
You got a 20, 19, 18.
10.
Okay. None of you notice anything. What? Yep. I rolled very well.
Wait, if it's passive, like, why are you rolling? I don't get it.
Because
supposed to roll?
because the thing that you're looking for is actively trying to do something. But since you all
okay.
are just preparing to take watch, you only get your passive right now. So
Oh,
with
okay.
that,
Got it.
Hermia and Leaf, your watch begins. If you would like to chat at all.
They probably want to make some perception rolls now.
I mean, I'll have him make one at some point here.
Hold on.
So,
Card Hermia,
yeah.
how are you doing tonight?
Okay. My sword asked me for a memory of my brother, and I have been thinking about which memory I should share.
And what choices have you came up with? It's not that hard of a question. Literally anything.
Okay. I'm trying to share here, and I'm sensing some hostility already.
Hear him
Is
grumble.
your sword going to consume the memory?
No, I mean, I don't think so. I don't think it eats memories. A memory. So I'm from the Feywild. Big Lodgen city. And one of the best memories I have with my brother is during this big festival that happens. It happens towards the end of summer, just when the air starts getting a little bit chilly, but not quite. There's lots of colors and lights and different plays and theatrics and dances that happen. Basically anybody with any type of artistic talent or any trade skill is out and performing all through the night. I remember once I got lost when I was out with my family, and I remember wandering around until I was out near the outskirts of the city, and just being so freaked out and scared. And then I came across this campfire, which was odd. And looking around, there was no one around it. So I went over by it, hoping, to stand out so I can see if I could find anybody.
Were you lost?
I mean, I guess I was. I couldn't find my parents or my brother. But I remember, all of a sudden there was these lights, these little glowing balls of lights just all over the place. And It was my brother. I mean, that was the first time he's like done any type of magic, like fairy lights almost. It was really pretty. But like basically, you know, he found me and we just ended up wandering around like together, seeing everything.
So you got lost in a forest and your brother had to
No,
rescue
in the city! In the city! During the festival.
That's even worse.
Okay, fine. You know what?
How
I'm
did
done
you
sharing.
survive long enough to even find me in the black canopy?
I was mostly just wandering around, like, you know, and I literally tripped on you. So, there's that.
Well, that didn't work. I don't remember anything.
Okay, you know what? I'm not gonna share with you anymore.
This one thought that story showed true bravery instead of fear.
Really? It's mostly just confusion for me. Not really a conscious decision to do anything.
For most creatures, when they are afraid or uncertain of something, they tend to hunker down. However,
Oh, me,
you
I just kept
wandered around.
wandering. I don't know if that's bravery or stupidity.
Irregardlessly, you have found your brother, so it helped in the end.
Yeah, my parents were pissed though. Don't wander off, Hermia. Why do I just gotta watch you? So I embarrassed them. Whatever.
Do you think you embarrass your parents?
Oh, probably. Yeah, most definitely.
She embarrasses me sometimes.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Not lately, you've been getting better.
You don't need to be sorry to me.
But outside of Baisei Tile, when you struck the killing blow on that tree and fell into it, I noticed.
I think everybody did.
Yes.
It just... Parents are...
They just don't understand.
No, they can... Just the way they communicate is just so backwards. For instance, my mother once said that she was having over some guests for tea, and she said, I'm gonna have tea at 2. You may join us if you'd like. So she said may, so I was just like, oh, you know, if I want to, I can go. Like, there's a choice here, a decision. So I didn't go, and then she's mad at me and yelling at me because I didn't go, because apparently, just because she said, may you go, there was no choice. There was no option. It was, Hermia, you need to go. But when I told her, she didn't phrase it like that. She just blew up even more.
Ask
like,
the
it's my
druid
fault.
about his past.
What?
That is parents
Ask
are confusing.
the druid about his past.
Okay, I'm having a heart-to-heart with Leaf here, and
I know,
you're telling me to
it's
shut up.
annoying.
Oh my god.
Is your sword being unruly?
He just doesn't care about me.
I care about you.
He thinks I'm just whining.
You are.
Maybe a little bit. But my brother wasn't like that. You know, I could just look at him and we just understood each other. We just got each other. Feels weird, like, being apart from him for so long. I've been worried, you know, like, because of Clay and the person he was looking for. You know, it turns out, like, the person he was looking for was just gone. And he was gonna, like, do something really crazy, and it just got me thinking, like, what if, like, even though I feel it, like, my brother's out there, like, what if he's really not? What if I'm just, like, pretending or fooling myself? What am I gonna do if I find out that he's just gone?
That would be quite bad. Do you know where your brother disappeared to or around? His last location?
Mainly just feelings that I have. Like, we're twins. So, no matter, like, where we were, we always kind of, like, knew whereabouts the other was. I think that's how my brother was able to find me when I was lost. I just knew that he was somewhere out here. Not in the Feywild, out here somewhere. But that's about it.
And you say he was looking for a clay? Is that correct?
No. What was he looking for?
So your brother was part of a unit called the Wildborn, and they were basically tasked with protecting your city from threats both inside and outside the Feywild, since the city would occasionally pop into the Prime Material Plane. And last you knew, they were pursuing some sort of lead or some sort of threat in the Prime Material Plane. And you, but before getting there, you had tracked his last known whereabouts to the Black Canopy, where you found the sword.
Yeah. So I say that.
Where is the Black Canopy?
In the Feywild, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And your twinly connection has determined that he is no longer in the Feywild.
Yeah.
Do you feel your twinly connection outside the Feywild?
I mean, I feel it now. I feel that he's out there somewhere. But it's like faint. So, not anywhere close by, but definitely out here.
Do you feel he is in danger?
Is there something I should roll, or can I just guess?
No, yeah, just what do you feel?
I don't think he's in danger.
This one will assist in any way that it can to reunite your brother.
Thanks.
You know what, Hermia? Make a wisdom check for me. As you kind
Okay.
of try to focus in on that shared feeling, which you're right. Before, when you both lived in the same city, you could just feel the direction he's in. It's the same thing that you followed in the Feywild when you came to the Black Canopy. Now that you're on the Prime Material Plane, there isn't a direction to it, and it is faint, but you do feel he's out there somewhere.
I got a 22, which that's just with my modifier, right?
Yep.
Okay, yeah.
So you kind of sit here while talking with Leaf and try to focus in on it. Just it feels like something's blocking you, and you hear the grumbling and the moaning and the sighing of your sword. So you kind of take him and shove him into the ground next to you and kind of stand up and walk away from him a little bit. And as you do, you feel that connection with your brother somewhere pulse ever so slightly. You're not sure why or exactly where it came from, but something in that moment convinces you that wherever he is, he's looking for you too. Pick your sword back up. Goes away.
It's just, I'm not sure how else to explain it, but it feels like a part of me is missing when he's so far away. Like I can't be whole until we're reunited again. And I just feel empty.
This one understands that feeling.
Yeah?
Part of this one remembered earlier tonight its creator, Dr. Fernilius, introducing this one to another sibling, Reed. This one barely remembered that Reed had glasses, but they were broke. So this one took part of its outer mainframe and remade glasses for Reed.
Oh, that was nice of you.
So part of this one is with Reed all the time.
I think that's an apt comparison.
Robbie, is it?
Oh, go ahead. Yeah, sorry.
Can I make... I don't know what kind of check or spell or something I would use, but can I, like, see if I can, like, feel if, like, Hermia's sword is, like, evil aligned or good aligned or any
Do
kind
you
of, like,
have
that?
detect good and evil?
No.
Then just make an insight check.
Okay. I'll use inspiration.
Against sword.
Insight against sword.
Didn't you give, like, the sword, like, inspiration?
With inspiration, 22.
Okay.
Down to 16. Huh.
It's difficult to read a magical sword just by looking at it.
Mhm.
But you take a few things into consideration. You know, being a automaton, you have a tendency to take a logical approach to things. You know that it was crafted by the Dawnfather, who is a good god, to be gifted to the Raven Queen's first champion during the Calamity. That would tell you that this is a good sword. You also know that one of its designs was to collect the souls of those who would deny themselves passing into the Raven Mother's embrace. That would try to prolong it. And from what you've been told by those who sort of tried to take a guess at what has happened to the sword, because it hasn't always been black like this, is that it's taken so many souls since those have been released that is having some sort of effect on it. You're fairly confident that doesn't mean that the sword is evil, but you do wonder how that might affect it, and what would it be like if it could free itself of that burden.
Leaf is going to query card Hermia. Do you feel that you control the sword, or that sword Chad controls you?
I feel like we're partners. Like, none of us really, like, controls each other. We just choose to work together. Does that make sense?
Affirmative. Have you have done research into the sword, correct?
Yeah, a little bit, from what I can find out. Yeah.
This one has been making calculations for some time regarding your sword. If it is indeed a soul collector, perhaps your sword is bloated and is therefore agitated.
Yeah, like it has a stomach ache.
Correct.
I mean,
Your sword goes, did he just suggest that I'm constipated?
No, it just means that, like, I mean, if anything, that you have gas, not that you're constipated.
Oh my gods.
He's trying to be helpful. I mean, what does it feel like when, like, you, like, when you don't, like, release the souls that you, like, carry for so long?
I don't know. I have no memories of...
Well, I mean, it's what you are currently. You're gorged with souls right now. What does it feel like?
Anger.
Okay.
want to hit things.
Yeah. Sounds like gas.
So
What
you
does
and
your
Leaf,
sword say?
You and Leaf continue your conversation for the night, interrogating poor Formir Amarth. Both of you go ahead and give me perception checks now.
Okay. As we are finishing up our conversation and we start actually keeping watch, Leaf is also going to start staring at people while they sleep, not in a creepy way, and notably stare at Zana and Carrie.
Ew, are they sleeping together?
Well, as far as you know, Carrie is in her tent and Zana is in hers.
Fucking A, Carrie.
Hey, Leaf, should we see if they're, like, together in their tent?
Leaf, you didn't use inspiration, so you got a natural 1.
Yeah, that's fine.
But Hermia, you do notice Carrie going from the wagon to her tent, and then shortly thereafter, Zana from the wagon to her tent.
Fucking A, Carrie.
Ew, did they violate our wagon? Hermia just, blurts this
Carrie,
out loudly.
I knew it. Knew it. I knew it.
And you hear Zana just yells, "Shut up, Hermia!"
You better have cleaned in there. That's gross. Here, I'll sit in there. I'm telling on you.
Fucking Carrie.
Our query,
All right, so
Hermia, are
next
you
up-
embarrassed by sexual intercourse?
No. I just think it's weird when it's with gross people.
We will say that outburst wakes up Rosalind and Leo for their watch.
Who?
No,
Young people are so
I don't even.
gross.
I don't even want to know. I don't even want to know.
Are you sure? Because I'd want to know.
No, I don't want to know.
Hey,
That's-
Leo.
Yeah,
One of May's friends and Zana totally had sex in the wagon.
So
I just-
I
Hey,
rolled
They are adults.
a natural 20 and an 18 for their stealth check into the wagon, and a 5 and a 3 for their stealth check out of the wagon.
Well, I mean, after the deed's done, it's like,
I mean,
whatever.
Why do it in a shared space? Okay,
Carrie
That's
can't
my
wait. I'm
thing.
sorry.
do it in your own
Carrie's
tent.
a fucking bitch.
But don't do it in a shared space.
The
Please don't
wagon
kink shame.
is about 30 yards from the tent, so.
Oh,
the
okay.
wet
Well,
spot will dry by the morning, Hermit. Don't
Yes,
worry.
All right,
about
so
it.
Hermia and Leaf are asleep now, and Rosalind and Leo have been on their watch for 20 minutes already.
Why are you speeding up time? I still need to dissect this.
Go dissect
Don't.
it in your sleep.
Gross.
What?
Roz
I don't
and
think that's.
Leo,
Yeah.
your watch is among you. Or is upon you.
among us.
Yeah.
All right. So, you feel like Helesna probably got down here okay?
I'm hoping she did say that she got some protection to take her down there, but I'm not sure who she hired. So.
Right. I mean, you and your friend are pretty good, pretty capable handling yourselves. Is she trained? She know how to fight?
Yeah, me and Triv kind of taught her how to use a dagger. She's
She
always been kind of
Also
scrappy
knows
herself.
she also knows a bit of druidic magic.
She also knows a little bit of magic, so
That's good. That can go a long way. Yeah. Sure, she's all right. Hopefully, we can reach the dash tomorrow, or the next day, and we'll see if we can't find her first, and then your friend after that.
and then you have your blood curse thing that you need to check out, right?
She kind of winces, but nods. Yeah, and that.
Do you know the contact name that we need to go check out?
Yeah, Byron Otterjevic. Yeah.
Interesting. Any other descriptors? Do we know?
It mentioned that he's a half orc. He's not a doctor, so that's comforting. But
It'd be like Kaylin,
it's true.
blood witch of some kind.
I probably would go further towards understanding this than a doctor would in this world. I haven't seen another Kalishtar.
I mean, you kind of have, haven't you?
Here? No.
Doesn't Zana turn into a Kalishtar?
Oh.
No.
No, she doesn't. ASMR, yeah.
ASMR, okay.
Yeah.
Strike what I said.
Yeah. No, it's... Kalishtar, as far as I can figure out here, Kalishtar are more like myths. They don't seem to be... Maybe they died out at some point here in this world, I don't know.
Maybe, or we're just not in the right part of the world. It's still a huge world. We're only on one continent.
I can't even fathom that there's another continent like this one.
There are 4 other continents, Leo. If you want to give that information to her.
Yeah, I will. There's 4. Some of them are smaller, but they're about the same size, to be honest.
Used to be 5, if you want.
I can't
When
even...
was the 5th one? Like,
the beginning of the calamity, when one of the mage cities exploded at the beginning of the calamity, it wiped out one of the continents.
There used to be 5, but the calamity kind of leveled one of them.
Man, it's hard to even imagine. Like, just the amount of terrain that we've walked in the amount of time that I've been here is... Where I come from, there's about 6 cities that you can live in, and that's it. That's where everyone lives, basically.
But I mean, there should be like massive amounts of land, even though that you can't traverse it. I bet. Like,
oh yeah,
always beautiful.
There's land around it. Vano's built into a mountain, so I mean the views can be nice. Although a lot of the forests and grounds beneath are tainted, so it's the waterways, the rivers, like we've seen the lake, that lock that we saw in Odessalo was, I've never seen anything like it. I mean, we have like, a pond in the parks in Vano. That's the bodies of water that I grew up with.
How do you guys like grow food and stuff like that?
Has Rosalind ever been to the Amethyst Lake?
I don't know that she's ever actually been to the Amethyst Lake.
Okay.
Yeah,
Then,
maybe, I don't know.
Ponds in the park are the most that you've seen,
Yeah.
but you do know that the Amethyst Lake, which is an underground city, supposedly is like built around just this massive underground lake.
Yeah.
That has these like crystal deposits underwater that gives it a purple color.
Right. But, yeah, I mean, there are people who farm out in those lands, but you can't just be a farmer. You also have to be able to fight. My Aunt Des and my Aunt Sin, they own a farm, and a lot of owning a farm is not only tending the land, but also killing stuff that tries to come attack you.
Yeah, and even for that, it is still close to a city.
Yeah. It's a very different world.
And then I remember you mentioning like walking around demons. Like, is the Abyssal Plane or the Hells like connected to Vano in some way?
It's hard to say. The Infernal and the Fiendish, many of them make home of my plane. The gods, and both good and bad, much trouble as I have with the concept of good gods, they allow a lot of free transport, or a lot of free roaming between different realms. My mother was literally attacked at her place of business by a demon. That's how all of this started.
Do you think maybe the Oracle's portals are to do with Vano's attacks? Did you see anything
like
similar?
Yeah, Vano's been like this since before I was born. It's been like this for centuries. Long time. If Saris was here, I would ask her if it was ever any different when I was in any of our prior lifetimes. Maybe in one of them, maybe in the earliest lifetimes it was a different place, but as long as I can remember.
Interesting. I was just trying to see if there was a connection between like our plight and maybe what's going on with your world.
No, I get it. It's weird being here because it's like objectively by every measurable variable, this place is beautiful and wonderful and better. Just better. And it makes me feel almost ungrateful. I don't know, that a lot of the time all I can think about is getting back home.
I don't blame you there. But you also haven't seen the shittier parts of Alexandria. Like Shady Creek Run, if we ever have to go up there, it's not a great place.
Yeah, I suppose
Beautiful
not.
forests, but shitty people.
Well, yeah, I'm from Vano. I know shitty people. I do know that. There are a lot of people there who are... Desperation does ugly things to people, Leo. But I don't think I need to tell you that.
And then, I guess, like, if you want a taste of home, right next to Shady Creek Run is where the elves kind of got decimated, and there's still some free roaming fiends up there a little bit.
Maybe one day I will head up there then and get a taste of home, as you say. No, it's not the place. It's the people. My family and the Fortuneers and all of them. I swore an oath. My oath was to Vano, but really it's to them. You know, it's...
If there's a way, you're still connected to him through your sister, right?
Yep. In the weirdest way possible, yeah. After I was separated from Saris, I was able to talk to her all of a sudden, which was new, because before that, I'd only spoken maybe 2 sentences to her my entire life.
I mean, that must be good. It's like some family building time.
It is.
Even though it's forced upon both of you. That's probably awkward as hell, but...
Yeah, it is. It's definitely awkward. I only learned about who she was about 6 years ago. And, 8 years ago, you know. But, you know, they were both always kind of these mythical people to me. These 2 women who lived in the abyss and went around and saved people and fought demons and monsters. And, yeah, even for me, having come from a family of heroes, that was cool. You know, they were fun to think about, fun to imagine what they might be like. And now I'm actually getting to meet them. And, well, it's going better with one than the other, but yeah.
I mean, anybody living in the hells would really not be very happy people.
No, my uncle goes there occasionally, and he fights with my sisters, and so does my mom. And some of the stories that I've heard about the things they've faced are, well, they make what I've done here so far seem like a walk in the park. I don't know.
I mean, we've only done so much in the last month. Don't sell yourself short. We still have a long journey ahead of us.
I know. It's sometimes hard to keep perspective on it, but I appreciate that. So, I don't know, tell me about Helesna. She's your younger sister, right?
You know, she's a little younger than me. She's always been very book reading type, didn't really like scrapping with people very much, but when she's pressured, she can protect herself. Kept to herself a lot, except for like, when Triv came into our family, she kind of opened up a little bit to her. But she's always been kind of weary about the family business, per se.
She's got a kind heart.
Very much so. And I want to protect that.
Triv was very good for my family, too. As I understand it, they tell me that a lot changed for them when she came into their lives, although it was a unique circumstance that made that happen. But She was always one of my aunts that I was very close to, that I was able to share a lot with.
Can I get a perception check from both of you, please?
You may.
Oh God, no.
All right, good old +0 from Rosalind.
It's going to be round 2.
Ew.
You're
You
gonna
weren't part alone.
You're gonna wish it was.
No.
19 plus 8.
I got a 7.
19 plus 8.
27, nice.
27.
As Roz is talking to you, Leo, there is a old chill that blows through. Particularly noticeable because the fire has died far, far, far down. You see smallest little wisps of embers in it, and this chill blows it out cold. And Roz hasn't seemed to have really noticed as she keeps chatting with you.
Other than it's dark now.
It gets darker as for a moment the stars, the moon, the light of Katha, all blacks out for a moment as well, which
What the
draws
hell?
your eyes upwards, Leo, and that's when you start to clue in to it, Roz, and you look up to see nothing but darkness above you. And then as that chill vanishes, watch as all the stars and the lights in the sky reappear. A figure, massive, massive dark figure,
What?
flying further north as it blocks out stars in this as it flies forward. Whatever it was seems to have not cared or not seen you, but nonetheless.
Never seen anything like that before.
No, me neither. That was unusual. She's gonna get up and go about rebuilding the fire.
Can I infer what it could have been, like a giant dragon or something like that?
Make a nature check.
16 plus 0.
Not sure. There's never been any news, no rumors, as far as you're aware, no history of dragons ever being this far south into the Empire. No idea what it could have been.
Oh, that was strange. Doesn't seem to want to bother us any though, so maybe that's good news.
Could be, or could bode ill will. It was going north.
Well, we're going south. Maybe we're due to catch a break.
Maybe. Depends on if it circles back.
Well, we'll keep our eyes up to the skies then. I need to go. Speaking of my sister, I need to go ask her real quick about something. You mind keeping watch?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. She'll hop up and just kind of walk over by the wagon. Not look in the wagon. She's gonna go on the other side of the wagon and lean back against it. Light.
It is a
You
matter
there?
of perspective. Like right as you're about to say, she comes in.
I'm sorry.
You were talking to your friend about what you imagine me and Shadow do in the abyss.
Ah.
It's a matter of perspective.
That's true. What
You
a-
and those that talk about us always refer to us like we're people too. But you have to remember, Roz, being reborn here, growing up here. We're monsters just like the rest of them.
I don't believe that.
What were you going to ask?
I was going to ask you how it went with Mira.
There is a palpable pause.
Yeah.
Your message was delivered.
Yeah.
Yes.
And what did she react? How did she react? What did she say?
Not well.
Yeah, that seems about right. Yeah.
She probably has a concussion now.
What do you mean a concussion? What happened?
She had what would you call, a tantrum, and tried to lay hands on me.
Oh. Like, you didn't hit her.
Not exactly.
What does not exactly mean?
I did not hit her.
Did you hurt her?
She probably has a concussion.
Ugh. I see. Is she all right?
She'll be fine.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you delivering the message, nonetheless. I know that couldn't have been easy or pleasant.
I don't like going to the prime material plane.
Why?
Too quiet.
Huh. Well, that I do understand. That I get very well. I'm sure Mother was told you were there, though.
She didn't know.
Could have let her know you were dropping in. You're so seldom there.
I was only there for a moment.
I suppose. You said that I was in Shadow's thoughts last time we talked.
You were in mine, and our thoughts are one. So yes.
She hates me.
Shadow hates a lot of things, Roz.
That's not what I said. She hates me, though, specifically.
It's more complicated than that.
I find it frequently is. I represent something she doesn't like. I represent the possibility that Mom was right. And she hates that.
Do you want comfort?
No. No. I just want to know if I'm on the right track.
Shadow is complicated. As young as she was when all of this transpired for us, if it wasn't for what I remembered, her connection to me, then Shadow would have been... She'd probably be an archfiend herself by this point.
That must have been hard.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So try not to take it personally.
I don't. But for you too, that must be hard. You were 12, right?
A lifetime ago.
No, not to you two it wasn't.
The abyss
Doesn't change the fact.
time is different here.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lifetime.
And it still affects you. Both of you.
It's made us who we are.
And what is that?
Strong.
Mm.
There are people who are still alive and people who have made it to their final resting place because of us.
Mm-hmm. And yet, you still talk to me. You still talk to Mom. When I had no one else, you both came and helped me. Maybe it was a lifetime ago, but it still affects you. And a piece of them do live on, as much as you don't like it.
No, response.
Roz just exhales deeply and kind of gives a firm knock at the side of the wagon before going back over to the campfire and sitting down.
And the rest of your watch continues on without incident.
Mm-hmm.
As you are beginning to get up to head towards Maeve's tent, you notice that all of the Pallid elves seem to be waking up as well.
Roz rolls her eyes like, oh, I wish I only had to sleep for 4 hours. I'm so tired. Good morning, Adelaide.
Lane.
Adelaine, sorry.
Good morning,
George Arc.
Roz.
We saw something strange in the night. Keep your eyes open.
Sure.
Something huge flying in
Yeah,
the
it
sky.
flew overhead, heading north.
Is that normal?
No.
All right.
Good. No, go over and get Maeve and Kieran up. Oh no, Maeve was gonna take watch with the with the Pallid elves.
Yep.
And she'll go to bed.
Yep. So, Gwenla, Yulia, and Addie are all up. Carrie seems to still be in her tent.
Carrie enjoy sleeping in these days? Should I just give a look?
Hold on, let me see. No. Whoop. Gwenla goes, she seemed to have been very interested in your friend with the firearms last night, so if I had to make a guess, she's added another to her list.
Really?
Yulia,
Really?
could you go get Carrie up? We leave in an hour. And Yulia kind of nods and laughs a bit and walks over towards.
Anna, of all people. Of course. Of course. Of course those two would like each other.
As her ways.
She certainly does. Don't say anything. Anyway, you all will be leaving soon, I gather?
It'll take us about an hour to get things packed up, so we can chat a bit while you finish watch for... How long do they sleep for?
You know what's fascinating is it depends on who you ask. So the elves do only need 4 hours, so Leo is fine. Hermio enjoys sleeping, which I found very unusual. I prefer just trying to take the day.
It wastes so much time.
I know, but she says she enjoys it, so I'm not gonna question it. Leaf can actually still be somewhat aware. He just can't talk to us.
Yep, you all look over towards him, and he's standing over Kieran. You see these green lights shining out of him and, like, scanning Kieran's body.
He likes to make sure we're sleeping fine, but he only needs 6 hours. Yes. Gliss and Roz, however, need 8 hours. Can you believe that?
I don't know how they get anything done.
I don't know how they get anything done either. It's amazing. Every time we keep walking, we have to always stop. I'm like, we can just keep going for a few hours, and then I forget. It's been interesting having to get used to that, but that's fine. I enjoy the quiet sometimes. Been working on my potion making meanwhile.
You mentioned that you're going to Zadash next. Do you know what's after you for that?
Not exactly. We have a place in Rexentrum. We've made some nice with some people there, so Rexentrum has kind of become a bit of a home base for us. After Zadash, I'm not exactly sure, actually. Why?
You found yourself back down Menagerie Coast at any point, maybe think about checking in back home. A lot of people who would like to see you.
Indeed.
Or at least know that you're still alive.
Right. I'll send a message or letter to my mother if I can. She at least should know. Most of all, she was the one I was most worried about. So she doesn't deserve to have 2 daughters leave her. But yeah, I'll think about it. If our ways come there, I'm sure it will be a bit of a shock if I were to bring a whole litany of a crew like this over there.
Well, after Baisei Tile, we're not entirely sure where we want to go. There are apparently some ruins further to the east in the Savalier Wood, I think it's called, and Yulia apparently wants to go to the Feywild at some point.
Well, I wish I could tell you how to get back, but Hermia's been being tightly lipped on that one. But if I ever do, I'll let you know. Yeah, I haven't. I'm trying to remember. Here it is. Yeah, we haven't been up over there so much. We've been mostly just kind of north of the area. Bicettel's the farthest north I've been so far. So, but yeah.
Right, well, we can chat more. Let me help them pack things up for now.
Sorry. Yeah, of course. Go ahead.
So as they are packing things up and you are keeping watch, something begins to tug at the back of your mind, Maeve.
Okay.
You're not sure why, but you begin to paw around in your pack for something.
Okay.
Something that you picked up back in Baisei Tile.
Uh-huh.
The notebook that you found in the home that the Pallid Elf was in.
Oh, right. I'm a dummy.
Remember who it was addressed to?
Yes, let me get the notes. I'm sorry. Because I have it in the notes. I apologize. I thought I had that up. Oh, it's over here. Sorry. That's why. Where are you, note? I just had you down here. Where are you? No, that's not it. I'm so sorry. Give me 1 second.
You're fine. If you use the index at the top and go down to the
Yes.
note in Odessalo, or the journal in Odessalo.
Thank you. Okay.
Begins to furiously leaf through her journal.
Yes. A moment. I found something strange when I was in it was actually Odessalo.
Oh,
there
sorry,
was,
in Baisei Tile, not Odessalo. Did I say it?
It says Odessalo in the notes, but you're right. It was Baisei Tile, wasn't it?
It was,
okay.
Yep.
It's okay. Oh, right. I thought that name sounded familiar. Like looking at that name, you're like, weird. I don't remember writing that name. She's gonna frown a bit, kind of hit herself upside the head, or at least out of character. I do. Gwenla.
As she's like packing stuff up onto her horse.
You know, I remember finding this and hitting myself for not wondering why it seems so familiar. I found this in Baisei Tile, and she's just gonna show the note.
Okay. I don't understand. This was to me?
Yes, from someone named Farcrest.
I don't know anyone by that name. I've never been to Baisei Tile before.
Right.
Obviously.
Gwenla, do you think Shauna would use your name?
You also remember as well that the description that Amra gave to you does match Gwenla as well.
Oh, interesting. Well, it's just strange because now that I'm remembering when I was asking people about someone who had seen a Pallid Elf, they apparently look just like you. Can I do an insight check?
You can.
Okay. All right. Damn it. 12.
She seems just as confused as you are.
Okay.
If someone simply had my name, then maybe it's a coincidence. But someone with my name, a Pallid Elf that also has hair like mine, that could be Chandra. What would she have been doing there?
I don't know going on with her. The last time we spoke, all she told me is I should go home. I should quit this. That it would just lead to sadness, honestly. But I don't know why she'd pretend to be you.
I don't know either.
Good. Sorry.
I'm not sure what to say. When we get there, I can try and look into it as well. How long ago was this?
Oh, this had to have been insert a week here, I think. 2 weeks?
Yeah,
3
it was
weeks?
basically about a little under a month ago for you, and according
Yeah.
to Amra, she had been missing. Whoever this Gwenla person is had also been missing for a couple weeks as well. So,
Yeah.
close to almost
Yeah.
2 months now.
Yeah, she'll give that amount. She'll explain also the leaders and the person, and just to
Sure.
warn her, like, this person might say they recognize you.
All right. So you probably give him Etrical's name as well. So
Yes.
we will look into it. I don't know what I'll be able to pick up on. I mean, by the time we get there, 3-month-old lead, but
I know.
who knows?
Maybe if you even find out who this Farcrest is, Gwenla, is there anything else? I know Chandra said a lot of strange things before she left, but is there anything else she said that was unusual?
You already know most of it. You've apparently experienced it as well. Sorry that I don't have more.
It's fine. I just... I don't know. I had hoped this would be a simple misunderstanding, and I feel like I know her less than I thought I did. I can't imagine how that feels for you.
Well, even for us, Maeve, seeing you out here, you're a completely different person than you were back home. So maybe her changing isn't as much of a far cry as you think it is.
I suppose. It's so strange. The way these people describe me back home, it's not even real. It doesn't even seem real to me.
It's real to them.
Yeah.
You've opened up the eyes of a lot of younger folk. The ways of the Pallid Elf and the Grove is changed because of you, meant to or not. A positive thing for most of them.
I've been trying to hide my influence, and this wasn't what I intended, but I will own up to it. It's the least I can do.
It's only the elders who think it's a bad thing.
They were stuffy and old and had eye pupils too large anyway.
Another 100 or 200 years and they'll be gone anyway. Carrie comes up and kind of nudges you on the shoulder. By the way, Norrison got married and walks off towards her horse.
Oh no! My ex-boyfriend went with his true love.
Eddie,
I'm so upset.
You told her! Eddie goes,
I'm so
sorry.
upset, yeah. Oh no, Carrie, did you want to make me sad again? By the way, Carrie, which name did you take for me? Which title have you been calling me back home?
I was fond of Farseer.
Farseer? Huh.
She does smile at
thank
you.
Also, be careful with my friends, please. She kind of gives her a leveled glance.
I don't know what you're talking about. We're all adults here.
Yes, you are.
Except for that one that looks weirdly like you.
Yes, Gliss is unique that way. I can't tell Carrie anything.
So you chat with them a bit more as the sun begins to rise, and each of them, including Carrie, does give you a tight hug before they mount up and take off.
Yay!
Right about around the time that everyone else begins to wait.
All right. She will wave them off and look to the group.
Oh,
Everyone sleep all right?
yeah. Oh,
No strange things that I saw.
good. We saw something really weird before we went to bed.
I saw
heard.
something weird too.
Oh,
Was
did
it a
you?
giant dragon?
No, your friend did some gross stuff in our wagon.
My god, Hermia, grow up!
Well, why'd you have to use it in the wagon we all sit in?
She looks dead at you. Have you ever even kissed a person before?
Yes, I have. But that doesn't excuse you
Has
like
she, Hermia?
defiling
Or
a public
has she?
space.
Has she?
Yeah. Yeah, it was
Okay.
gross.
Your brother doesn't count.
I wasn't
Jesus
counting
Christ.
him. Jesus.
It's all right. Carrie is very charming when she wants to be.
Gross.
Not gross, just
Roz shrugs.
how Carrie is.
Roz gives Zana a look that's kind of like, get it. Hell yeah.
I hope it was. I'm not even gonna go there. Does Zana seem like disappointed that Carrie left, or is she very like?
No.
Okay, good. Okay. Don't need to have a
When
talk with
Roz
her.
says that, though, she does go interested in you at first, but she thought you and Maeve had a thing.
I don't even want to go into that. Let's just no.
Well, then I guess I may have saved you some grief right there, Roz. Or maybe you saved Carrie some grief. I'm not sure which.
Well, I found out last night that Light did tell Mira that I'm alive.
Oh, how did it go?
Yeah. Mira got angry and attacked her.
Um,
And well, Light's probably stronger than all of us combined, so that didn't go well for her.
let's see.
Yeah.
I'm sure she'll just. You mentioned she was both of you. And she's very full of life. I'm sure when she calms down, she'll
Yeah.
be willing to talk.
Yeah, that sounds like Mira. Yeah. Anyway.
Zana has gone over to the wagon as soon as y'all started talking about Mira.
I feel like we can probably get a move on, and it shouldn't be too far from Zadash if the map's any indication.
You are.
If you don't want to sit in the...
No.
I'm sure it's
You can-
fine, guys.
You
It's
can
not-
drive the horses today. I'll get in the back.
Hey, I will.
Oh gosh.
Creepy old man sniffing the wagon.
It's
No.
not
Wait,
even.
what he's doing?
Oh,
It is
God.
probably not even. All right. All right.
You are, I believe,
that
3 days out from Zadash.
Oh, damn. Okay. Well, then we will get on the road, I guess.
Yeah. Maeve will have a very thoughtful expression as she's writing. So strange.
So who's driving the cart? Hermia
I am.
And Zana usually sits up front too.
All right, it's gonna be Zana and Hermia. This will
Yep.
be fun.
Okay. Hermia, are you driving or just sitting up front?
I'm driving.
Make
Leo
an
said I should.
make an animal handling check, please.
I will.
Okay.
Get it, Hermia.
That's gonna be 18.
Okay. It kind of takes you a minute. You know, you kind of like, all right, let's go, horses. And Indigo like kind of starts to move, and then Celtic just does not budge. It just looks over her shoulder at you, and then leans down and starts like munching on some grass.
And it's not just me. Interesting.
It takes a second of you to be like, come on, yeah, let's go, get going. And eventually she like you hear like this this grunt, and then they start to go. And
That sounds like Celtic.
yep, it's a pretty uneventful day for the most part. But if there was anything anyone wanted to do during the trip, by all means, let me know.
Maeve's still mulling over the fact that she's
Sitting in a defiled wagon.
no, she's not. It's not a big deal. No.
Yeah,
No.
how's Maeve feeling now that she's had sort of a night to sleep on it, begun to process all of that?
Yeah. Well.
Kieran, actually,
okay,
about an
good.
hour in, as you're kind of sitting there,
Yeah.
you know, cross-legged, arm on your leg, holding your chin, you just kind of look around, and Kieran is just watching you with this big old grin on her face.
Yes, Gliss.
So, Maeve, people are friendly.
Very, as you can see, I was not making
you
that
and
up.
Addie had a thing back home.
No, unfortunately. It's rather depressing. I wasn't. So we have this children's holiday. It's it's meant for adults, but it's supposed to be a holiday where you basically ask your first partner out, essentially. It's the post. I've heard. Pause. Is there something equivalent to like Valentine's Day in Exandria?
Not to my
Not really?
knowledge. Probably. We'll say like maybe regionally there is, but
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
For those
Well,
watching, it's essentially Valentine's Day.
Yeah. Well, she'll just kind of explain that with the Pallid elves. It's like when you turn into an adult age is when you get to have like your first big relationship, and it's a big deal because it's always exclusive relationships and everyone makes it all. And the reason it's seen as childish is because it celebrates this idea of like soulmates, which Pallid elves don't believe in. As like practical matters kind of thing. So it's kind of this like childish idea of like asking your first crush out.
And was Addie your first?
Well, that was the awkward part. I didn't really know, even though I was of age, technically, I didn't really understand those feelings. I just liked being with Addie. That's all I understood. She had asked me, and I didn't really have an answer for her, and so she took that as rejection.
No.
The problem was that
No, Roz!
What?
Roz, Maeve was a loser!
Thanks, Gliss.
Roz-
Grits her
Roz
teeth.
smacks Gliss upside the head.
No, it's fine. She's not anymore, obviously. Now, she's cool and, does the bow and arrow things, and it's probably because she's been hanging out with us so often. I think we've started to rub off on her a little bit.
Yeah, that's probably it.
Anyway, it got sadder because then I
No!
kind of realized
How did it get sadder?
Well, I kind of realized I may have felt something, but she was kind of pulling away, which also caused some complicated feelings. So the next year, I asked her, but she was already with someone.
No! With that Yulia girl?
Yeah. Although
Maeve, why didn't you tell me? I could have broken them up.
No,
That's
you don't
within my skill set. I could have got her back for you.
No. It's not. They're not exclusive.
Well, then what was stopping you?
Because she kind of pulled away. She got very. A lot of people did. They got more interested in their romantic and sexual partners than their friendship.
That's the whole game. You're supposed to chase after them.
I know, but.
All right.
I just kind of felt
it's
hurt.
Settled. It's settled. When we get to Zedek, after obviously Leo, we check on your sister and on Rosalind's aunt or whatever.
What are you about to say?
When that's all done, and your blood thing, we gotta check on. Get your doctor's appointment. After all of that, though, when everything's all kosher and hunky dory and everything, we're gonna get Maeve a date.
What? No, that is not.
Have you ever been on a date, Maeve?
Yes, I had a boyfriend. He's now married to the person he liked before me.
Maeve? How? And Gliss just kind of like buries her hands in her face in her hands and just like screams.
He asked me out after he was rejected by this one person.
Maeve, you deserve that.
Well, they're not married now. It's okay. I broke up with him, and they're now married. I just found out. So it all turned out happy ending. Oh, you're right. I am a loser.
This is so sad, and we are gonna make it better in Zadash. After we take care of everything, we're getting you a date.
I don't.
I thought you shipped her with Kalen.
Well, yeah, but he's so far away right now, and you heard her. The Pallid elves can be with whoever they want all the time, whenever they want. So you might as well take advantage of that.
I don't. It's not. It's a little harder than that.
Maeve.
What?
Farseer Maeve, you are a turbo loser.
Hey, thanks, Leaf.
Rosalind slaps Leaf upside the head.
Look, what if we find you a date, and then Gliss lowers her voice, find Hermia a date. You can double date so that way it's not weird or awkward.
Oh yeah, that won't be weird or
yeah,
awkward.
I think
Let's find you a date too, Gliss.
I'm perfectly capable of finding my own date, thank you very much.
Are you sure about
the
that?
Contrary.
When was the last time that you had any experience in that, old man, Mr. Grandpa?
Hookers don't count.
Yikes.
I mean, they do if you want body count, Hermia.
All right. And so the discussion and the teasing goes on and on and on.
Yeah, and she's just very, very tired. Like, oh my gosh.
But
finally, people like me, and I'm tortured into this.
Yep. But eventually, it does get to nighttime, and you are able to make camp again. This night goes without incident. You wake up the next day and begin your travels 2 days away. On day 6, though, as you are nearing Zadash, isn't quite as uneventful. As you pass by a sort of... for the majority, where you are here is mostly plains. There's a few rolling hills. You do see off in the distance here... those of you with either high passive perception or like with really good sight, such as the elves, notice a few miles off a quarry. Just enough to where sort of the horizon kind of dips down. But that is the Eglin Quarry, far, far, far off in the distance. But what draws your attention is on the road, and again, it's probably Leo and Maeve that see this first. Up yonder next to a small sort of cliffside sort of hills, and there's a few sparse croppings of trees. You notice a wagon off on the side of the road and see what looks to be 2 people arguing with one another.
Should we go check this out, make sure everybody's okay?
Well, just slow down. I don't want to intrude if it's just a private argument.
Just call and ask if they're all right, if they need any help.
Yeah.
So you wait to get a little bit closer, and as you do, before you can get close enough to talk to them, you definitely hear the commotion as the 2 of them seem to be shouting at one another. And from what you can pick up on it, it seems that one of them was told to buy a new wheel, not get the old wheel replaced. But he did that anyway because it was cheaper, and the guy who replaced it told him that it's as good as new, and he used a special type of magic mending that actually makes it stronger than what the original one was. So if anything, we should have bought another wheel for the other side so that both of them were just as durable. But obviously that's not true because this one is broken now, and you are a moron. And as you get close enough, sure enough, their wagon, one of the wheels on their wagon is smashed to bits, and there's like a toolkit. And strewn about, they're basically past the point of attempting to fix it and have gone right to blaming one another for the issue and just seem completely oblivious to you even approaching.
Oh, that's so funny.
You said there's a toolkit?
There is.
Is this wheel ever going to be fixed by a toolkit?
In your expert opinion, you have no idea.
In my built a shrine that one time opinion,
you have no idea.
All right, okay. Sure.
Anybody wanting to get into a pointless argument with someone? That would be fun.
So we'll say that you guys are 100 feet from them as you kind of like come to a stop. So what would you like to do?
Leaf, do you know how to make circular wood?
Actually,
although that is an odd question, yes, this one can create circular wood.
Great. Let's go help these people.
Yeah, come with me.
Second chances too.
All right, so Rosleaf and Leo are going to approach them?
Sure.
Yeah,
we'll
I think
save
so.
up.
Everyone else watch the cart.
Yeah, we'll watch the cart.
All right.
I'm gonna watch you though. I think it's gonna be funny.
So,
is there any like ambush points, or is this all like just like open fields?
So it's open fields on the right side of you, and the left side, there's like a few outcroppings of trees, and then it's not really a cliffside, but like it's like a large hill that has like a few sides would be hard to sort of climb up. So a steep hill, we'll say.
Roz is, as we're all walking towards them, Roz is actually just going to go over to that other side and just kind of like cast a glance over that hillside just to make sure there's not anyone waiting there.
Oh, it's up, like it's going.
Oh, it's going up.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, never mind then. Well,
but I mean,
still-
if you'd like to take a glance around, you can go ahead and give me a perception check.
Oh, what's the point?
Maybe ask Leo to do it or leave.
Well, I rolled an 18 actually, so I guess that's the point.
Okay, yeah, you take a look around, just kind of as you're approaching, shield on your arm, and on your hilt. You kind of try to take a look into some of like the trees and the foliage, and nothing odd really stands out to you. And as you get about 50 feet away, one of them goes, hey, and like pats his buddy, and they both turn to look at you, like, hey, we don't want any trouble here. Just you can keep on your way.
No, we see your wagon's fucked. We're just coming here to help you so you can quit bickering and giving me a headache.
You watch as the two kind of whisper back and forth to one another. They keep kind of looking over at you. That a automaton?
Yeah, he's a druid. He can probably make you a new wheel.
Like it knows magic?
I just look over and Leaf. Do you want to make the circular wood now?
I am an expert in creating circular wood.
All right. They kind of step back as Leaf comes up and I guess kneels down and starts to druid craft some stuff.
Hell yeah.
Gonna cast Druidcraft and create like a bunch of twigs in a circular manner.
Where you guys on up to?
Solid. Coming from Rex and Trim, back to Zadash.
Ah, okay. Same. That's where we're from as well.
Looks like you're an adventuring type group.
Yeah. What do you do?
Trade, move, importing, exporting. I guess you could say.
Gotcha. Anything useful for adventurers?
On occasion, something a little useful for everyone.
You guys
As I'm druid crafting, can I try to take a look at what's in their wagon?
Yeah, go ahead and make a perception check.
Inspiration.
Go for it. So as you're doing it, Leaf, you kind of reach up and pull one of the canvases over to the side and peek in. As Roswan looks to you and goes, "Ever been up to Odessalo?" You see nothing inside the caravan, Leaf, and then there is an explosion behind you as you see a fireball go off on your wagon. And that's where we will pick up next session.